Did you know experts warn AI could wipe out 50% of entry-level white-collar jobs in just 5 years? Welcome to Buzzleaps, your daily explainer. Today, we're asking, are you prepared for the agentic AI revolution, or will you be left behind? What you're about to learn will completely change how you see AI, the future, and Buzzleaps. Let's dive in. Section 1, the entry-level AI crisis. Okay, let's dive into this changing job market and the real anxiety people are feeling right now. To really understand this shift, we got to address the elephant in the room. People are incredibly anxious about artificial intelligence. And honestly, the data shows it's a completely justified fear. When we look at why students worry about job prospects, just look at these numbers. 63% of young people actually believe AI is going to mostly eliminate their future jobs. You know, a recent Australian Senate inquiry even called it a quote-unquote graduate employment crisis. It's wild. Young professionals are literally watching companies use generative AI to automate the exact routine tasks, stuff like basic research, data auditing, and drafting content, that used to be their foot in the door. They're terrified these basic training wheel jobs are just disappearing overnight. Section 2, traditional versus agentic automation. But here's where we hit a really fascinating paradox. The companies automating everything with AI are somehow finding that it creates more work, not less. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it breaks down exactly why that's happening. We have to clearly understand AI workflow automation versus traditional automation. See, traditional automation, super rigid. It was all about rule-based tasks, basically replacing manual hands on an assembly line or running a basic spreadsheet macro. But AI workflow automation, that is dynamic. It uses autonomous reasoning, adapts on the fly to exceptions, and most crucially, it actively collaborates with human judgment. It's like AI is graduating from a simple tool you just click on to an actual digital coworker that you manage. And that brings us to a massive, game-changing concept, agentic AI. Take a second to just process this definition. We're talking about systems made up of multiple coordinated AI agents that can independently break down complex tasks, talk to each other, use external digital tools, and chase down broad goals over long periods of time, all with barely any human supervision. Absolutely wild, right? This is literally the tipping point where human-AI hybrid teams become the new default way businesses operate globally. Moving on to Section 3, transforming engineering with Gemini. So what does this massive macroeconomic shift actually look like inside a real enterprise today? Well, the recent announcements at Google I/O proved we are officially in the agentic Gemini era. It's fascinating to highlight how companies use Gemini and AI agents to transform their engineering operations. With the rollout of models like Gemini 3.5 and the newly upgraded Google anti-gravity platform, they're essentially creating this invisible connective tissue that seriously empowers development teams. Instead of just relying on AI for basic line-by-line code completion, enterprise builders are now orchestrating entire networks of specialized agents to do the heavy lifting of software creation. It's a total paradigm shift. Let's break down how this Google anti-gravity platform actually works for these teams. First up, developers can instantly spin up sandbox sub-agents. Think of these as isolated, super secure little playgrounds where agents can safely test and run code. Second, these agents automate end-to-end engineering pipelines. They can literally take a raw concept from a basic requirements document and run it all the way to high-fidelity, fully tested code. And third, they keep everything locked down security-wise with tools like CodeMender. It autonomously sniffs out vulnerabilities, securely tests the fixes, and patches them up. It basically gives companies massive speed without throwing the governance rulebook out the window. Section 4, real-world agentic successes. We don't just have to rely on abstract theory here. We can look at actual production environments right now. It's absolutely crucial to mention real-world successes from companies like AirAsia and Deloitte using agentic workflows. Check out this statement from Nikunj Shanti, the CTO over at AirAsia Next. And this brilliantly illustrates the impact. By using agentic browser capabilities to simulate real user environments, they've completely revolutionized their QA process and streamlined their entire pipeline. Today, over half of their production-ready code is generated through these exact agentic workflows. As he points out, the future of software development isn't just AI-assisted anymore. It is fully AI-driven. And Deloitte is seeing a very similar, massive operational shift. Faruk Muratovic explains that these agents have completely transformed how their internal and forward-deployed engineering teams operate. By leaning into these governed, autonomous software workflows that still meet crazy strict enterprise security standards, Deloitte is able to rapidly accelerate the deployment of high-fidelity AI solutions for their clients at a massive scale. The agents handle all the tedious, automated delivery mechanics, which frees up their top human talent to focus on what they do best, high-level innovation and architecture. Which brings us to Section 5, the new collar era. Okay, so if all these complex systems are increasingly being run by autonomous agents, where exactly does that leave us, the human workforce? Let's zoom back out for a second. 1.3 million? That is the number of brand new AI-enabled jobs that have popped up globally in just the last 2 years, according to data from LinkedIn. This completely resolves that paradox we talked about earlier. Yes, standard repetitive jobs are definitely shifting, but they are being replaced by entirely new categories of work. We need to discuss the rise of new-collar jobs. These are roles that beautifully blend traditional knowledge work with advanced technical tools and distinctly human strengths. So the crucial point is understanding what exactly makes up a new-collar worker today. It doesn't mean you suddenly need a PhD in machine learning, not at all. It means having AI fluency and literacy. It's about extreme adaptability and just a stubborn commitment to continuous learning. As these agents take over the busy work and execution, uniquely human skills become gold. Complex problem-solving, critical thinking, human judgment, and the ability to set clear strategic intent, those are now your most valuable assets. The job market is totally disrupted, for sure, but it heavily rewards the people who adapt to manage that disruption. Which leaves us with one final, incredibly vital question for you to chew on. In this rapidly shifting landscape, are you going to be an adapter who actively builds AI fluency and learns to orchestrate these new tools? Or will you be a waiter, just passively hoping your legacy skills give you enough armor to protect your career? Guys, the agentic AI revolution isn't some far-off sci-fi prediction. It is happening right now, today. How you navigate it is entirely in your hands. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.